Okay, so I'm doing this quick test today to start learning live streaming as well. And this basically inspired, or this live stream was inspired by a post that I saw from Jack Appleby from the Morning Brew, where he was saying, like, I'm going to dedicate this week's newsletter to people who need to find a new job in tech. And that is usually he's writing about social media. So he's going a little bit off topic for that one. But I thought it was an interesting moment, an interesting idea to also do something around this topic as well. So, as a short introduction, like I'm a marketing consultant, I've been doing this for 10 years. And every now and then, friends will come to me and ask me about advice, how they can like find a new job, because they know that I also like hire people every now and then. So I've been on both sides of this conversation, which gives me like not a unique perspective, but to them, I think I can give them some great insights. And those are also the insights that I wanted to share today as well. So I think the first important thing to know when you're unemployed or just laid off, and you want to keep in mind that you want to find another job, obviously, one day, is that the time that you're spending while you're not at a job is also important for your next job interview. So you could be out of a job for like a couple of months, depending on what industry that you're specifically working in. Today, I wanted to do it specifically about tech since it's like a lot of layoffs happening in tech right now. And I feel that it's important to make sure that your resume like stays up to date, even when you're not working at a company. So let me explain. You'll have to place yourself in the recruiter's shoes, which is basically the same thing as I'm doing in marketing as well, since when we are creating campaigns, we are trying to see the world from our client's perspective. So, what we're trying to do right now is seeing the world from a recruiter's perspective or a business owner that's hiring someone. Now, when you quit your previous job, and maybe it's been a couple of months ago, one of the questions that will obviously come up is, what have you done in the meantime? And this is why, especially for people working in tech, I think it's important that you find some projects that you find interesting. Maybe you can do work on like open source projects, but try to work on your skills. Maybe there's something new that you want to try that you didn't have the chance to try in your previous job. Well, now is a great moment to actually try something like that as well. In the meantime, since this is a live stream, I'm also going to keep an eye on any comments. Um, so yeah, you want to make sure that you keep yourself busy in the meantime, um, and that you already start working towards what you want to be doing next. Um, for example, I once worked with a guy in technology. Um, he was an iOS developer, and although we had a very small project, it was a project that featured some very new technology that hadn't been used before. And this technology was very interesting to him. It was something that he didn't have like that much experience in at that point. And so we did this project. Fast forward a couple of years later, after we did a successful project, he went on to like apply for a job at a very big Silicon Valley company. And one of the projects that he actually mentioned while he was doing the interview was that little project that we worked on. But because the technology was so new, this was actually a project worth mentioning in the interview. And this day, he's actually working, like today, he's actually working on the same technology for a very big Silicon Valley company. And I'm not saying that one is like directly linked to the other, but it definitely has something to do with it. So You will have to find your passion projects, and work on those while you are looking for a new job. Then another thing is the work that you've done usually is more important than the job where you did the work. So let me explain. Like, I've seen a lot of resumes, and most of them will talk about, like, I was a marketing manager at that company, or I was a social media manager at that company. Now, that's all nice, but what's even more interesting to me when I'm hiring someone is, what did you actually do on that job? Like, what were some of the most interesting projects that you worked on? What are things that you learned? Like, in case of marketing, like, are there things like certain things that worked, certain things that didn't work? And this also goes the same if you're looking for a tech job. So when you're a developer, I would really keep track of the different projects that you're doing, the technologies that you're using, how you are implementing these technologies, and maybe even like what business results that these technologies, these projects that you worked on, what business results that these brought for the company, what value that they bring for the company. So those are like very important things, and I feel that when you include those in your resume and in your interview process, you will definitely be one step ahead from anyone else in the same interview process. Then, as I said in the beginning, one of the things that you really want to keep in mind is the gap in your resume. So you might think like, well, might be time for like a gap year, um, but this is not always a great idea. So if you have a very big gap and you're not really doing anything in that time, or you don't really have a good explanation for it, you can be like, just like, well, I was having fun. This will make it a lot harder for you to actually get hired on a new job afterwards. So one of the things that I would definitely try to do is stay up to date with anything that you're working on. Maybe read up on some interesting books in your specific niche. Maybe you can learn a new skill. Let's say you're a Java developer. Maybe you want to learn Swift now. You want to go into iOS development. Or maybe you want to learn specifically, you want to learn new things within Apple's SDK, and you want to learn how to learn new technologies like their augmented reality. These are all things that could position you in a better place in the market than where you were before. No, since this is just like a little test case for a live stream, I think we can wrap it up here. Thank you for watching, and obviously this was like just a very small live stream. It was also very ad hoc, so for me it's for the learning experience. I hope that everything I talked about will bring some value to anyone who sees this video. If you've just been laid off by a tech company, I would say good luck finding a new job. Have some fun learning new things in the meantime. And if there are any questions after this, I think the comments on YouTube will stay open. On other places, I'm not entirely sure. So you can leave any comments there, any questions, and I will try to answer them then. or maybe do another live stream when I have a couple of questions to answer on that live stream. Who knows? So, yeah, thank you.